Hey, what is happening, guys? This is Shatik back with yet another video. Did you guys see my last video? It was about 5 amazing tricks that you can actually use to make your videos look a little bit more cinematic. That video was pretty cool. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down in the description if you want to check it out. That's what we are talking about in this video. In this video, we are actually talking about one of the transitions that I used back in that video. Now, that transition was actually something that I think I came up with, because to be honest, I don't recall seeing it in anyone else's video, so I kind of am taking a credit for it. I'm just going to share with you how I actually did it. So let's just hop into Premiere Pro and let's see how it's done. Let's go. So guys, we are inside Adobe's Premiere Pro, and as you can see in my clip bin, I have already imported the videos that we are going to use in this transition. So I actually do have two video clips that we are going to transition between. This is the first clip, and then we are going to transition to the second clip. And I also do have two smoke overlays in my video. I have two because one I'm going to use as an overlay on the first clip, and second one I'm going to use for the transition to wipe over and reveal the second clip. Now this first clip, as you can see, it doesn't has much going on about it, and it doesn't really have a smoke element. If your footage does have smoke or fog of some kind, then you can avoid adding a overlay, but I'm doing this because my footage doesn't have. Now what we are going to do is we are going to select out which portion of the video we actually want, and this much is enough for me. So I'll select the in and out points and then drag and drop the clip on my timeline, and you can see that the video is playing. Now we are going to do same for the second clip. We are going to drag and drop that in. Once we are done that, we are going to need to put in our smoke transition. Now this video is long, so I will select the perfect portion that will be good. Now I really want the smoke to come from one side of the screen and then go towards another, so just selecting the right portion amount, and then we can adjust the duration afterwards. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to rescale this to fit my screen perfectly. 150 goes nice. Then we are going to have to change the blending mode, because you can see the background is black, and once we change the blending mode under opacity to screen, you can see it becomes transparent. Now the smoke really looks sort of weird because it's really white and dense, so I'll decrease the opacity, and that looks much more realistic because it's night time and the smoke shouldn't be that. So now you can see the smoke is coming out from the other end and flowing towards that, so I want the opposite of it. An easiest way to do this is go to speed and reverse it. Now you can see the smoke is coming from that side and flowing towards that. Now we are going to do with the next overlay that is going to cover up our screen, so I'm going to do the same. Select the portion I want, mark the in and out points and drop it. Now this video is actually pretty long, but I want the smoke to go pretty fast, and I'll speed this up to about 800%, and you can see the smoke is flowing pretty nicely now. So I will select the perfect portion of the clip that I want and just discard the rest, put it somewhere so that half of it is in the first clip and half of it in the second clip, and that looks pretty good to me. Now I will rescale it like I did, and then we are going to add keyframe for opacity in the beginning and then towards the middle, not at the middle, and then at the beginning we are going to set the opacity to 0 and then 100 at the portion where we want the smoke to entirely cover up the screen and hide the footage inside. Once the cut occurs, the footage has already changed, and that's where we will put another keyframe, and then towards the end of where we want the second clip to appear fully, we will make it 0 again. Now you can see it looks pretty flashy and weird, so I'm going to readjust the keyframes so that they look a little bit better, and the transition can be seen rather than a flash of light. It looks like the smoke flows and fades away. Now that looks good. The fading look is perfectly fine, but I do want to make some changes to it, to tweak it, to make it a little bit more realistic. You can see the smoke is flowing from the opposite direction of where the smoke was originally coming in the first overlay that we added to the first clip, and that looks kind of weird. And you can have it, the smoke might have a spinning property to it, but I would rather have it come from one side and then wipe over. So all I'm going to do is add the horizontal flip effect to the overlay, and that's going to make the smoke come on from the same side, but it's still coming from the top, and originally the smoke was towards the bottom right corner. So I'm going to add a vertical flip effect and flip it vertically, and you can see now it looks much more realistic. The smoke is coming from one side and then covering the screen, and then it just fades away. Now what I'm going to do, you can see the smoke really looks weird in the first clip because it's really dark and then all of a sudden it goes white. So I'm going to add 2 keyframes on it, right at the position where the second overlay comes, and I will going to increase the opacity to make the both smokes seem same, and you can see how much better and more realistic it looks. I guess that's pretty much it. I think it looks pretty fine and I am happy with it. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Keep editing, keep being awesome. Goodbye.